Hey everybody, I'm Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, April the 4th, 2021. Happy Easter. Today I want to give you just a few reflections on Easter, what it means, and how it can speak to us today. First, Easter is a reminder that the universe is constituted by other-oriented love. It is the idea that we are not stuck in benign indifference, as Albert Camus says, but instead that we are grounded in a personal investment of God to us and us to each other. This is in fact why we've got to understand that Easter is made possible only because of kenosis. This is the idea that God dispossesses God's self into fleshly existence. What's so remarkable about this is that it gets rid of the idea that Easter is about getting out of humanity, getting away from the earthly condition, and instead propels us into the idea that God thought the human condition worthwhile. Dietrich Bonhoeffer reminds us, in fact, that we should get rid of all escapism that masquerades as piety. Too often, the phrase, "He is risen," is somehow an encouragement that we won't always be in this situation. But instead, we should recognize that it is the remainder of hope in this situation. We are not called to go elsewhere. We are called to love each other here and now. This is also why it's important to remember that what Easter models for us is a God who evacuates self-aggrandizement, egoism, and self-protective theology. Too often this past year, we have seen far too many Christians beating their chests and claiming that their liberty is getting violated because they have to put on a mask. That is very far from the example of a God who is willing to die in order to experience the human condition in all of its difficulty, so that there is no space where we walk alone. What Easter invites us to is not an abandonment of our humanity, but a deepening of it. Not a forgetfulness of our neighbor, but a propulsion towards them. And not an attempt to evade our responsibility, but to embrace it. Easter is good news, but it is the good news that we are called to live into in relation to each other every single day. When we refuse to wear a mask, when we refuse to get vaccinated, when we care more about our own narrative, our own comfort, than we do about those who are marginalized, oppressed, and downtrodden in our world, we are not celebrating Easter. We are instead forgetting Easter in the name of our own story. May our story today be one that celebrates the story into which God invites us. May we love each other precisely because love requires abandoning our own ego. Put on a mask. Love your neighbor. For God's sake, get vaccinated. And do this precisely because the human condition is not something to escape, but as Easter reminds us, it is something to live into every single minute. Death does not have the last word. But that does mean we've got to live so long as we're alive. I hope this is helpful. Happy Easter to us all. May we now get up and live into it. I'll see you next time, unless a piano falls on our heads.